Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. I'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kada Mahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hara Haraya Nama Krishnaya Davaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol Jaya Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Panchatatva Jaya Panchatatva Panchatatva Jaya Panchatatva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. So welcome you all to the Dashavatara class. And today we'll be completing stories about two avatars. One is the Balarama's incarnation and another is the Parshurama incarnation. Okay. Hare Krishna. Sarvavatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balarama. So the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balarama is his second body. You know, when 8 sons were born to Devaki Vasudeva, the 7th child is Balarama. Okay, and he's been put into the womb of Rohini Mata with the help of it's a Yoga Maya. Okay, so he's like a twin brother to Lord Sri Krishna. So all his pastimes are in parallel equivalent to what we see the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Okay, so Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of the Godhead, is a primeval Lord, and he's, as you all know, is the original form of a Godhead. But his first expansion is Balarama, and can expand himself. The Lord can expand himself in innumerable forms. The forms have unlimited potencies, and they are called as a swamsa. And the forms that have limited potency, that is the living entities, V. That is Vibhinamsha. So all these swamsa constitute the superior energy of the Lord. That is a spiritual body, spiritual nature and all. So that can multiply. Say, suppose if you say Lord Krishna is with each Gopika when he is doing the Rasa dance in the Nidhivan and all. So he is with each Gopika. That is Swamsa Avatara. That is, he is personally present as Lord Krishna with each Gopika. But whereas we living entities, we have only one body. So it is the opposite of all the spiritual energies there. So in that expansion, Lord Balarama is the first expansion of Lord Krishna Avatara. Ekahi Swarupadone Binna Matra Kaya Adyakaya Vyuha Krishna Lilara Sahaya. So these two are the one and the same identity. They differ only in the form. Lord Balarama is his first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he exists in Krishna's transcendental pastime. So if you read the Krishna's book, or if you see or look at the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Lord Krishna which have been described, you will find Balarama in all his the transcendental pastime of the Lord, like killing of Dhenukasura, or putting an end to Kamsa, so or stealing the butter, whatnot. In all the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Balarama is equal participant. Okay. So Balarama is a Swamsa expansion of Lord, that is the spiritual and superior energy of the Lord, and therefore there is no difference between the potency between the Krishna and Balarama. Okay, so if you see the deities of Nityananda Prabhu and Gauranga Prabhu, so Nityananda Prabhu represents the Balarama. Okay, whenever Lord comes, he will not come alone, he comes along with his associate. So Balarama is the first associate who accompany the Lord. Okay, so the only difference is the bodily structure. Okay, the way they look is different. That is, the physical form is different, but the energy wise both are same. And he's a chief deity among the first quadruple forms, and he's the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in the transcendental activities. So we will see like his transcendental pastimes in the coming slides. Okay. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyway, yes.
The Lord also declared to Yogmaya, my plenary expansion, Anantashesh, is within the womb of Devaki. On account of being forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be known as Sankarshana and will be the source of all spiritual power, or Bala, by which one can attain the highest bliss of life, which is called Ramana. Therefore, the plenary portion Ananta will be known after his appearance either as Sankarshan or Balaram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna is the first plenary expansion of Lord. Now you can continue this also, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Nayam Atma Hinena Labhya. This purport is that one cannot attain the supreme platform of self-realization without being sufficiently favored by Balarama. Bala does not mean physical strength. No one can attain spiritual perfection by physical strength. One must have the spiritual strength which is infused by Balarama or Sankarshana, Ananta or Shesha, is the source of the power which sustains all the planets in their different positions. Materially, this sustaining power is known as the law of gravitation, but actually it is a display of the potency of Sankarshana. Balarama or Sankarshana is the source of spiritual power or the original spiritual master. Therefore, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, which is also the incarnation of Balarama, is the original spiritual master. And the spiritual master is the representative of Balarama, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who supplies spiritual strength. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is confirmed that the spiritual master is the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as I said, whenever Lord comes, he will not come as a single entity. He will come with his associates. So Nityananda Prabhu in Gauranitai, you know, that represents the incarnation of Balarama, okay? And he's the original spiritual master. So we have to take his guidance, and under his guidance only we have to follow all the instructions. So, which is again confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes, I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna
The name,
Mataji.
the name giving ceremony, when Ganga Muni was so eagerly requested by Garga, sorry. When Garga Muni was so eagerly requested by Nanda Maharaj, he performed the name giving ceremony as secretly as possible in the cowshed of Nanda Maharaj. He informed Nanda Maharaj that the son of Rohini would be very pleasing to his family members and relatives, and therefore would be called Rama. In the future, he would be extraordinarily strong and therefore would be called Baladev. Garga Muni said further, because your family and the family of the Yadus are so intimately connected and attracted, his name will also be Sankarshana. This means that Garg Muni awarded three names to the son of Rohini, namely Balarama, Sankarshan, and Baladev. But he carefully did not disclose the fact that Balaram had also appeared in the womb of Devaki and was subsequently transferred to the womb of Rohini. Krishna and Balaram are real brothers, being originally sons of Devaki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. As I told you, is the seventh son born to Devaki Vasudeva is Balarama Krishna, and he's been transferred to Rohini Mata. And the name giving ceremony has been done as a low key affair, you know, because of the risk associated to their lives and all. So the Nanda Maharaj did a name giving ceremony in a low key affair. At the same time, he named the son of Rohini as a Balarama, Sankarshana, and Baladeva. Okay. Yeah, coming to the butter thieves. So both of them together, you know, like if we keep a stock of yogurt, butter, and milk in a solitary dark place, your Krishna and Balarama find it in darkness by glaring effulgence of the ornaments and jewels on their bodies. If by chance they cannot find the hidden butter and yogurt, they go to a little babies and pinch their bodies so that they cry and they go away. If out of fear, these naughty boys, we keep our stock of butter and yogurt high on the ceiling, hanging on the swing, although it is beyond their reach, they arrange to reach it by piling the all kind of wooden planks over the grinding machine. And if they cannot reach, they make a hole in the pot. We think, therefore, you would better take all the jeweled ornaments from the bodies of your children. So these are the various activities, pastimes of Lord Krishna and Balaram. So who are stealing butter to feed whom? Can anybody say? After stealing butter, whom they used to feed? Monkeys. Okay. So Krishna and the cowherd boys honor Balarama. So these are the various pictures of the Krishna along with his cowherd boys, various transcendental pastimes of a Lord, you know. So this is about a killing Dhenukasura, who is a demon who came to kill Krishna again. But here how Balarama put an end to him, we will see in this particular slide. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dhenukasur was a powerful demon who had assumed the form of an ass. With his demon friends, he was occupying Talavana, one of the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Out of fear of these demons, no one could approach Talavana and enjoy the numerous flowers and fruits in the forest. Balaram, induced by his cowherd friends, entered the forest, desiring to kill the demons. he began shaking the fruit trees, making a big noise. Dhenuka, furious at the intrusion, attacked Balaram with his rare legs, but Balaram easily picked him up by his legs and whirled him around until he died. As the other demon friends of Dhenuka rushed to attack, Krishna and Balaram picked them up and threw them on trees, killing them. Soon the forest was free of all demons, and it appeared that the bent trees were being directed by Balaram to pay obeisances to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here is an ass who come, what do you say, the demon who come in the form of an ass, but Balarama will hold its rare legs and just whirl it around and put him to death. So another is killing of Pralambasura. Yes. Somebody can read it again.
Hare Krishna. Once, when Krishna and Balaram were playing with the cowherd boys, a demon named Pralamba entered their midst, disguised as a cowherd boy. Understanding the invincible potency of Krishna, he instead decided to abduct Balaram. At the end of the game, as the losing party, he was supposed to carry Balaram on his shoulders. Carrying the Lord on his shoulders, he ran swiftly. But Balaram, realizing the true identity of demon, began to make himself heavier and heavier. Unable to bear the weight, the demon assumed his original form, which was like a huge, dark, effulgent cloud, decorated with golden ornaments. Balram then brought his fist down the head of the demon, splitting it into two and causing him to give up his life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So carrying a Lord on a shoulder is a big mistake, Poor demon, he don't know, and that's how he has to be put an end. So Balarama will just hit the demon with a fist, and crashing him to death. Okay. In one way, these people are liberated soul that they got a golden opportunity to be killed in the hands of a Lord. Yeah. Leaving for Mathura, Vishnulok within the Yamuna river. Okay. Yeah. So entering the Mathura, breaking the sacrificial bow, breaking of the bow in the sacrificial arena and killing the wrestlers. So this scene generally will come in the end of pastimes of Lord Krishna, where they will kill Kamsa, See, both this Krishna and Balaram, this is during their I can say teenage years, the youthful days, they come, and this comes as a last story where after doing all the pastimes, they enter the Mathura. Now that the time has come where they have to put an end to Kamsa, okay? So they will come, and you can see the restless here. These people are very too small and very, okay, what I can say, very tender. But you can see the wrestlers who are giant, and it looks like impossible to win over these people. But Krishna and Balaram are having the transcendental bodies, and nobody can win over them. They'll put an end to these wrestlers at the same time. They will kill the Kamsa. Okay. Balarama strikes Rukmini. This is another pastime, deliverance of gorilla. And this is another pastime where Samba has been released. And so Balarama kills Roma Harshana with a blade of grass. So this is one story. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Towards the end of Dwapara Yuga, thousands of sages assembled on the banks of Naimyashrana to perform a 1,000-year yajna in an effort to reverse the onset of Kali Yuga. They appointed as their leader Roma Harshana, one of the main disciples of Vyasadeva, who was also present with Sukadeva Goswami narrated Srimad Bhagavatam to King Parikshit. When Lord Balarama entered the assembly, understanding him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all present rose to offer him respect. However, Roma Harshana, proud of occupying the position of the leader, did not get up. Lord Balarama could understand that even though Roma Harshana was an expert Vedantist, he had not yet realized these teachings. Considering him unqualified to lead the ceremony, Balarama touched him with a blade of grass, causing him to die. He then instituted Sutta, the son of Roma Harshana, as the leader of the assembly and continued with his pilgrimage. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. See, this, this is about the sage Roma Harshana. So no matter what scriptures he has read, and he is an expert in Vedic literature, but he could not recognize the Lord who is there in front of him. So that itself is and he could not even offer obeisances onto a person who has come, that indicates he's puffed up with the ego. There is no point in whatever the learnings he has learned, and there is no realization of his life. So Balarama has to take a step by putting an end to his life by a blade of grass, causing him to die. And later his son Sutta has been made the head of that particular assembly and continued with his journey. So then comes the Lord Balarama wanting to stop the fight. My dear King Duryodhana and Bhimasena, I know that both of you are great fighters and are well known in the world as a great heroes, but still I think that Bhimasena is superior to Duryodhana in bodily strength. On the other hand, Duryodhana is superior in the art of fighting with a club. There is no taking into this consideration. My opinion is that neither of you is inferior to another on fighting. Under these circumstances, there is very little chance of one of you being defeated by the other. Therefore, I request you not to waste your time in fighting in this way. I wish you to stop this unnecessary fight. So this is like power struggle, I can say, or the capacity to fight and all, the physical ability to fight and all, who is great and all. Both are equally great, but one is in the mode of a goodness. So who is in the mode of a goodness? Bhimasena or Duryodhana?
Bhimasena.
Yeah, and Duryodhana is in the mode of a
Passion.
Yeah. So definitely people who are there in the mode of goodness will win, but still, Krishna is so merciful towards them. He says there is no point. So please don't go for the war. So he tried his level best to convince Duryodhana, but Duryodhana being so much egoistic about his position and all, it is his decision to go for the war, and he has to lose on his life at the end. So marriage of Subhadra. There was an incident where, in order to marry Balarama and Krishna's sister Arjuna, upon advice of Krishna, disguised himself as a sage. Okay. So Balarama, being Arjuna, to be the sage, presenting him Subhadra to render him service. So Subhadra consequently fell in love with Arjuna and willingly left with him. This all of us know. Balarama, thinking his sister was kidnapped and was going to punish the Arjuna. So Krishna, being the greatest architect of flowery words, specified Balarama and explained to him without what truly has happened. Okay, like that, Arjuna and Subhadra will marry. Next comes Balarama marries Revati. In Satya Yuga, there was a king named Raivata, his daughter was Revati, was excellent in all aspects, unable to find a match suitable for her. The king took her to the court of Brahma for advice. So what Brahma says is, apart from Balarama, you don't have any other person suitable for this, for your Revati. So Lord Brahma will inform King Raivata that at this time, Lord Balarama, who is more qualified to be a husband of a Revati. But a lot of time has been passed by, So what they do is, King Raivata returned and approached Balarama to accept Revati as his wife. However, as she belongs to the earlier Yuga, okay, and where people are much larger physically. So what Lord Balarama will do is he'll put a plow on her head so that she'll shrink to the appropriate size, suiting the Lord Balaram, and finally he'll accept her as his wife. Okay. Destruction of Yadu dynasty. This comes in the last. When Lord Krishna leaves his material body, at that time all bad omen will be there, and the Yadu dynasty, they will fight among themselves, and that will get destroyed by the Dwarka will get submerged in the water, and at the end, by killing each other, nobody remains in that dynasty, and will come that will come to an end. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our next avatara is Parashurama avatara. So, okay. Hope it is clear. Any doubts?
No, Mataji.
Yeah. Kshatriyarudhiramaye jagadapagata papam snapayasi payasi samita bhavatapam Keshavadrita Bhrugapati Rupa Jai Jagarisha Hari. So, O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Bhrugapati, that is Parashurama. All glories to you at Kurukshetra. You bathe in the river, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from all the bodies of demonic Kshatriyas that you slain. Okay. So whom did he slain and all will come to know in the coming slides. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence. So the dynastic of Aila. So these are dealt in detail in 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam from 15th chapter 1 to 13 slokas. Okay, if you have a time, please read about it. So just for representation purpose, this is the chart, and not to go much deeper into this. Now we are concerned only about the Jamadagni and Renuka, who are the parents of Parashurama. Okay, if you remember that, it is enough. Okay, Jamadagni and Renuka. Yeah. Yam ahurvasudevam sam Haihayanam kulantakam trisapta kritva yoimam chakre nihrisatriyam mahim. So learned scholars accept this Parashurama as a celebrated incarnation of Vasudeva, who annihilated the dynasty of Kartavirya. That is annihilated, it destroyed the dynasty of Kartavirya. Then who is this Kartavirya and why did they kill him? We will come to in the coming slides. So Parashurama killed all the Kshatriyas of on earth 21 times. Why he has to kill 21 times? So we will come to know. So the axe, which is the weapon of Parashurama, is been received as a boon from Lord Shiva. And the brief history about Kartaviryarjuna. Who is Kartaviryarjuna? So he is the best among the Kshatriyas, and he has got multiple hands and all those things you can see in this picture, he got it as a boon from Lord Dattatreya. So 1000 arms by the worshipping Dattatreya, the plenary expansion of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Narayana. Okay. So in an attempt to insult Kartavirya, when Ravana attempted to insult Kartaviryarjuna in the presence of women and thus offended him. So Kartavirya easily arrested Ravana and put him in custody in the city of Mahishmati, just as one captures a monkey and then released him neglectfully. So he's more powerful than the Ravanasura also. But what made him and his kingdom annihilate, we will come to know this. Though he was a very good king and he has got all the boon of having a multiple hands and 1000 hands and all the good opulences and all, but he is egoistic at the end. Being a Kshatriya, he is puffed up with his ego. So his ego, lust, greed, and anger. So he was greedy towards certain thing, like towards the cow. So one day, what happens is, the king was astonished, like how opulent Jamadagni was because of possessing only one cow. That is the Kamadhenu, and therefore he became very envious of the sage. So that is a downfall for him. So he's lusty towards this sage. He wanted to acquire this. So he thinks that he's a small sage living in a hut and all, simple living and all. So one day he'll come with an army of people, he thinks that how he's going to feed me and my people. But that Kamadhenu cow has an innumerable potency to give a good amount of the food and all. So, and it has fulfilled all the requirement for everybody who has come to that place. So he thinks how nice it would be if I can acquire this cow. So like that, what he does is he will cause harm to Jamadagni and Renuka, who are the parents of Parashurama, and they beat him, and they will take away the cow which is there. So once Parashurama will return to that place and he will see, what happened to his parents and all, he could not take that insult, and he will say, I will see that his life has been put to end. Okay. Tam apatantam bhrigu varyam ojasaha dhanurdharam bana parasvayadhyam ainena charmam baram arkadamabhir yutam jatabe dadre purim visan. So as the king Kartavirajana entered the capital Mahishmatipuri, he saw the Lord Parashurama, the best of Bhrigu dynasty, coming after him, holding a chopper, shield, bow and arrows. You can see in this particular picture. Okay. And Lord Parashurama is covered with a deer skin, and matted lock of hair appears like a sunshine. So what he does next? To combat him, to counteract him, Kartavirajana will send, because he was a powerful king, he will send all 17 Akshauhinis of soldiers to check the Parashurama. So Parashurama alone, he is the incarnation of the Lord himself, isn't it? So he will kill all the 17 full Akshauhinis. So one Akshauhini consists of 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, and 109,350 infantry soldiers, and 65,610 horses. So all these being put into slain. So Lord is so powerful in this. Thereafter, Parashurama will cut off the mountain peak of the head of Kartavirajana. He'll behead him, and before that, he will chop off all the 1,000 arms which he got it as a boon. So what lessons we have to learn from this is the Parashurama, being an incarnation of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, like killed Kartavirajana because he was too proud. Kartavirajana was too proud of his positions. At the same time, he was puffed up and he wanted all the material opulences which are there, and he wanted to acquire that. And that too, here he has taken a tug of war with the Lord himself. So this is a lesson to learn from the history, that which Parashurama became angry at Kartavirajana and killed him and rid of the entire world of Kshatriyas 21 times. So there is a story behind it. When you read the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will come to know about it. So later, Jamadagni, who is the father of Parashurama, will advise Parashurama, oh my dear hero, my dear son, you have unnecessarily killed the king, who is supposed to be the embodiment of all demigods. Thus, you have committed a sin. So, okay, they did some atrocities against us, but in reference to that, you have killed him, so you have committed a sin. So, please go for the atonement. Okay. So, the duty of the Brahmana is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like a sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased to those who are forgiving. So, you please go to the holy places. This is the only atonement for the sin you have committed. So, one who fully surrenders to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is free from all the sins, no matter he's coming from which background. Because an ordinary person cannot immediately surrender to Supreme Personality of the Godhead, he is advised to go to a holy place to find another saintly person, that is association of devotee, and thus gradually he'll be released from the sinful reaction, because he know how to take a qualified person. An expert driver can make somebody to how to drive. Expert swimmer can make somebody learn, or any expert in any particular subject can teach the unknown about that particular subject and language. Similarly, if you go to a to a place and if you find a saintly person's association, those people can help you to come out of the sinful reaction. Okay. Yeah, but Kartavirajana got killed by Parashurama, but his sons, they don't want to keep quiet. They want to take revenge. They are full of vengeance towards Parashurama. So what they do is, Jamadagni was certainly very powerful due to his austerities. And because slight offense by his wife Renuka, he ordered that she should be killed. So she will be just out of Maya effect, she will have something materialistic thing in her mind and she will be sidetracked. So he will say again Parashurama to kill her for being lost from the track. But later Parashurama, bring her back to the life. Okay. So whether one is Kartavirya Arjuna or Lord Parashurama or Jamadagni, whosoever it may be, one must act very cautiously and sagely. Otherwise, one has to suffer the result of a sinful reaction. So this is the lesson we receive from the Vedic literature. So, O king, Lord Parashurama went to Mahishmati, which was already doomed by the sinful killing of Brahmana. In the midst of that, he made a mountain suffered severe from the bodies of sons of Kartavirya. He will in turn kill all of them. Okay. With the blood of the bodies of these sons, Lord Parashurama created a ghastly river, which has brought great fear to the king who has no respect for Brahmanical culture. Because the Kshatriyas, the men of power in government, were performing sinful activities, Lord Parashurama, the plea of retaliating for the murder of his father, rid of the Kshatriyas from the face of earth. Okay, 21 times. So he wanted to say Brahmanas are very forgiving and they are very sober, following the rules and all those things, but when such situation comes, not only the intelligence, they exhibit the valor. So this particular avatara is for that. Indeed, it's a place known as Samanta Panchaka. He created 9 lakes filled with their blood. So he has taught them a lesson by killing them, all the Kshatriyas 21 times, thereby destroying all the families. So according to the laws of nature, whether the time of Parashurama or at the present, if the government becomes irresponsible and sinful, not caring for the Brahmanical culture, there will certainly be an incarnation of God like Parashurama to create a devastation of fire, famine, pestilence, or any other calamity, which we have seen in the recent in the form of, yes, what has come? Recent 2019 to 2022 also. Still some cases are there now, we don't have. What was that? All of us have suffered?
Corona.
Yes, yes. So whenever the government disrespects the supremacy of the personality of the Godhead and fails to protect the institution of Varnashrama Dharma, it will certainly have to face a catastrophe formerly brought about by the Lord Parashurama. Okay, so it has to give for every level, for every age-related thing, it has to provide all the protection. Otherwise, it has to face the consequences of that. So later again, because Jamadagni has been atoned for his sinful reaction, he will be brought back to the life. Although Parashurama was incarnation of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, he has to account for the sinful reactions. So this has been again explained in one of the slides, like no matter who is there, whether it's a Kartavirya Arjuna, whether it's a Parashurama or Jamadagni, they have to get an atonement for their sinful reactions. Anyone in this material world, that indicates to all of us, however careful we may be, must commit, sometimes we do commit a sinful reactions, even though we doesn't want to. So we are surrounded by unlimited sins. Therefore, it is compulsory to take up the Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so that eventually we will have an atonement of all the sinful reactions we have created. So, thus Jamadagni, being worshipped by Lord Parashurama, was brought back to life with full remembrance, and he became one of the 7 sages in the group of 7 stars. Okay, so and they say Lord Parashurama is still living. And oh, my dear King Parikshit, so this is the conversation which is happening between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So he's saying, next Manvantara, the lotus-head personality of the Godhead, Lord Parashurama, the son of Jamadagni, will be a great propounder of Vedic knowledge. In other words, he'll be one of the 7 sages. So Lord Parashurama still lives as an intelligent Brahmana in the mountain in his country known as Mahendra. and completely satisfied, given up all the weapons of Kshatriya, is always worshipped, adored, and offered praise for his exalted character and activities by celestial beings as Siddhas, Charanas, and the Gandharvas. So chant Hare Krishna and try to get atonement for all the sinful reactions we have done in this particular age. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So any doubts?
No, Mataji.
So I think two more avatars are there, Buddha and Kalki Avatara, which we will